Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Looking for something new in dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, alternative history? They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. Get the 10-volume box set with 159 stories and full-color illustrations, plus 34 articles with writings and art tips. Get the UPRN discount, $125 for the entire box set. That's a $60 savings for that beautiful box set. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Go to uprntalkradio.com, click on the link, and place your...
Hello, everybody. Hey, Patrick. That's my brother. Hey, Virginia. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. My name is Sean Kelly, and I am the host of Into the Night. As you know, I got 2 one-hour shows, Sunday nights, 8:05 to 9:05, and Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. And my show is on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And before I forget anything, I want to thank Carnation for sponsoring the show tonight. I truly appreciate all their help. So happy Sunday, everybody. The weather's pretty cold up here, a lot of snow, just like really, really crazy. But I have something for you guys to ponder. I just want you to think about it. I believe that there is a conspiracy that where the meteorologists and the weather people are in cahoots with, all the grocery stores up here in Pittsburgh. Because Thursday, they had that snowstorm come on, and they were saying, 4 to 7 inches, and I swear to God, our whole store that I work at got blown out, thinking that they were going to be, cooped up in their house for a long time with this 4 to 7 inches. And you know what? We only got like maybe 2 at the max. So what is everybody's feelings on that? Do you think they're in cahoots with each other? I don't know. I've talked to some people, and they believe they do, so what's your thoughts? Patrick, my brother, said, Mom says hi. Tell her, Mama, hello. But all I know is that I got a good show tonight. I got a good guest. I've known Brian for a long time now. I am friends with him on Facebook, and I do read the stuff that he puts up on his Facebook page. And a lot of his friends are my friends too. And he's really a good dude. I mean, and I'm glad that he decided to come on tonight. He's really big, and I hope I say this right, cryptozoologist. I think I said that right. Going Bigfoot, cryptids, whatever cryptid or Bigfoot, after UFOs, aliens. I don't know, but tonight I'm going to find out. Okay, without further ado, my guest, Brian Seech. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening. How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing great, sir. How you doing tonight?
We're doing good. Just a little cold down here in the holler.
How cold is the holler?
Yeah, it's cold. We got the winds whipping down here, so it's probably, I'm guessing, in the mid-20s right now, but feels like 10.
Are you like in a log cabin or something?
No, the log cabin might be warmer than this house, but no.
Oh, well,
Uh,
okay. No, the reason being is because I don't know if you ever watched the show Barnwood Builders.
no.
No, okay. They're from Virginia says hello, Brian.
Hello.
Um, yeah, my friend Virginia, she says hello. But no, Barnwood Builders, they go all over the place and they tear down cabins
Mhm.
and they rebuild them, right?
Okay.
And they're from West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
White Sulphur Springs. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have. I have. We've been down here about 2.5 years now. We're outside of Weirton, and
Okay, how do you
I've
like
been
it down there?
really trying to learn geography and counties.
Uh-huh.
We live in the northern Panhandle, which is Hancock County, and we always
Okay.
joke around that if you look at a map, we're the tip of the middle finger of Western Texas. So we're right. We have Ohio and PA right opposite us, so we can just scoot into either one really quick. So
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. It'd be crazy if your house, part of your house was in Pennsylvania and part of your house was in West Virginia.
Well,
That
we're
would,
we're about 7 miles from the PA border, so we're not that far.
hmm. And there's a lot of woods down there since you're in a holler.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We only have like three neighbors on one side and then one down further, and then hills on both sides of us. So
Okay. So, to Bigfoot that I would like, have you noticed or have you heard any knocking or squealing or screeching? Well, before we get into that, I'd like to know what actually got you into cryptozoologist when Bigfoot hunting.
well, I'm a child of the '70s, right? And I grew up with In Search of, Legend of Boggy Creek, Mysterious Monsters. I grew up too, watching all UFO movies and buying UFO magazines at the '70s. And I read one magazine that said, "Hey, there's a UFO sighting here out of Uniontown, and there was a Bigfoot associated with it." And I was like, "Wow, Bigfoot in PA." So I've been
Hmm.
interested in it since probably about 75, 76.
Oh,
And
wow.
I just carried that on when I met my wife, um, and we got married. We were both interested in ghosts and UFOs, so we formed our first group, which was Q, Center for
Hmm.
Unexplained Events, which was basically like a clearinghouse for all the unknown. And
Oh,
in
wow.
2012, then we started our cryptozoology group, Center for Cryptozoological Studies, because we wanted to move all of the Bigfoot reports and all the other strange creature reports under that banner. So we still have two groups, Q since '86, and then the other group, CCS, since 2012.
Now, are these private groups or can anybody join? How do you go by allowing people to come into your group?
Well, we just say, if people are interested, they can contact us, and then maybe we can take them out on a, uh, investigation or things like that. But we're a small group, maybe 10, 12 members. We don't have a lot of members in the group,
Hmm.
but we work with a lot of other organizations too out there. So
Wow, I mean it just brings back memories when I ran my group, about the paranormal. And like I told you before the show, I'm really interested in learning about this. So maybe I'll be giving you calling you up and say, hey, I'm free. Let's go.
sure, sure, we'll probably be starting some stuff up here in the springtime. A couple more months, and it'll be spring. So
My friend Virginia says that's very cool. They're posting. Can you see her chat? Can you see the chat?
I can't. Maybe I'm not doing any. I'm doing
Can you
something. Oh,
see?
now I see her. Now I
Okay.
see her.
And that's my buddy Cindy Simpson. Hi, Cindy. Glad that you could show up. Um, I got a good following here on my show. They're good people. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So, which is good. So, what got you into? Well, you were saying back in the '70s you
Hmm.
collected those magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I had a Michael Anthony on a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was telling me, and I'm going to run this by you, okay, that there was a army. officer that was real big into the UFOs and the aliens. Something like
Oh,
that.
Lee Corso, I think, right?
I
Lee
think
Corso.
that's him, something like that. And he was
He wrote
saying that,
he wrote the book, I think, the day after Roswell.
okay, well, he said, now maybe I'm wrong, so, my memory isn't shot because I'm getting up there in age. But he was saying that this guy saw a alien with hair on top of it,
Hmm.
on it. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Alien with hair. Well, they have like sightings of what do they call them? Like the Nordiques, they're called the Nordiques, and
Yeah.
they've had hair. But then
Okay.
the other ones are more like the Greys, which without hair, and other entities like that.
Okay. Well, that was kind of like really interesting because I was thinking, oh my God, if that is true, and he wrote that, you know, it'd be like, oh my God, just throw a whole monkey wrench into a whole Bigfoot alien. You know what I mean? I believe, sir, I believe that Bigfoot and UFOs coincide with each other. I think they work together. I
There's
believe
actually
it.
been a lot of sightings, um, especially up in PA where I grew up, where UFOs and Bigfoot were seen either in conjunction or before or after one another.
Right,
So, because a lot of people think maybe they are an extraterrestrial race.
right.
So again, we don't know. I mean, that's very possible. I can't.
But
I never discounted that. Discounted that.
okay, well, see, it's crazy because we had a guest on when I was on Chasing Prophecy, and he kept saying until we drilled it into my brain that the whenever there is a Bigfoot sighting, there's always UFOs around. Okay, so whenever I hear of a Bigfoot sighting, I Google. I said, were there a lot of UFOs activities around the time that the Bigfoot um, was sighted? And usually there were. I mean, now I've talked to some people who are in the Bigfoot research, and they say it's not true. Okay, they believe that they are here and they've been here for the longest time, and also that I've also heard that they were man-made, like the cryptids, like the Wolfman, or stuff like that. Have you heard ever such a thing?
Oh, I've heard so many theories over the. And again, I, their extraterrestrials are actually not even about they're machines that they're doing the work for the aliens. They're interdimensional. Um, Again, they're maybe part like a Neanderthal type man or something, or they're Gigantopithecus, undiscovered ape. There's so many different theories to what Bigfoot could be, and I always tell people I'm not smart enough to know what it is, even after all these years of reading and talking with people. I do believe somehow that this creature is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it even a quantum animal? It's here, but then it disappears somehow. It goes back, either into its dimension or through quantum mechanics somehow it does that. I really do believe nobody knows. But our group, we steadfast, we do research it at especially at the beginning, as if it is like an animal out in the woods, like a bear, or pick any animal that's alive out in the woods,
Right.
because we are looking for physical evidence first. We're looking for tracks. We're looking for possibly hair samples. This standard thing that you would hear most researchers do. But then
Mm-hmm.
we also take into account any other things that could happen or could have been seen, like you said, UFOs. Now, there's another recently, I'm going to say within the last 8 years, people have been seeing, or I should say, they've been reporting to see more of these light spheres, whether they're red, white, yellow, in conjunction with right in conjunction with the Bigfoot sighting. Now, we call them light spheres. We don't call them orbs. We call them light spheres.
Okay.
We started to do and it's going along real slow, a research project that is studying that phenomenon also.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yes, and, so again, we've had some results. We've had some things happen. We have a kind of like a frequency machine which we use in conjunction to possibly, we don't know, maybe possibly somehow make contact with these things, or a
Okay.
trigger to make them appear. So again, it is a process that has gone really slow, not as we have hoped, but we've done maybe 15 or so uh, excursions where we go out to certain places, and we
Hmm.
play frequency machines, and
Now,
we
when you
go ahead.
with this machinery, what do you call it again? This equipment
We
that you
actually have a nickname because it was the first one that was made. We call it Magellan, like
Magellan.
Explorer.
Okay. Okay.
Magellan, yeah, we call it Magellan, and it emits frequencies. You can program the frequencies in, and we've only done certain protocols and certain frequencies yet. There's
Okay.
more to do and more to add to it, but just a matter of time getting out there.
So say like, right, um, you took me on an investigation. How do you prepare for one of your excursions, may I? How do you do it? What is your steps that you go? And like,
Well, if
how?
we do, say if we do get a sighting, now I can tell you in December, I was on one of these Bigfoot uh, Facebook pages, and somebody said, "Hey, we're from Hancock County, and we heard these strange wolf-like sounds."
Hmm.
So I immediately contacted him. I said, "Hey, I'm in Hancock County. Could I meet with you? You could, take me to the place where it happened." And he did. And it's 4.5 miles, 5 miles tops from here.
Hmm.
And he heard this in two occasions. He heard what sounded like a wolf, a long wolf howl.
Hmm.
So we did go to the place, and of course, nothing. This I think it happened like in October of last year, and we went, and we didn't find out about it till December. So we went in December. So I mean, there was no physical evidence to be found, but it was interesting that there was a he's up and there's a big like a cliff, and goes down into a hollow, because that's holler. That's half of this place down here. It's mountains and hollers. Okay, that's basically all where we live. And there was a cave that he showed me, and you have to
Hmm.
kind of climb down the cliff a little bit and go into a cave. And we didn't find anything in there, but mind you, but it was just really, it was interesting. If someone wanted to go there, just hide for a short bit, it probably could.
Right.
Because you had a trailer court up there, and then you had roads, and you had some other houses, but um, it wasn't easy to get down. There's a big creek flowing. It's actually a nice little waterfall coming down. It was a pretty cool place to go to. So
So,
that's what we would do. The first thing we would do is, okay, let's say okay, I live in Hancock County. I live whatever. Okay, can we meet with you? Can you take us to the place that there may have been an encounter, or there may be evidence? And then we research the area, talk to the eyewitness, get a full report. If he did see something, we try to get drawings, and we try to do a lot of background work, researching the areas. Okay, Hancock County, how many Bigfoot sightings has there been? Brooke County is below us. How many sightings are there? Um, and then we monitor boards too. The board. People think that a lot of times when we're not posting what we're doing, we're still doing a lot of things in the background. We're just not really actively talking about
okay. So everything is like it's like you're committed not to say anything until you come up with the full report that, yeah, there was something here, or yeah, there was nothing here.
Or we will note, like one of the places that we started to do some investigations is uh, Tomlinson Run. That's about 10 miles from here, and
Okay.
there's allegedly been some sightings there. One of Fred Saluga, one of his members, found a small print on one of the trails, which we go back in there. Um, we were lucky enough to be involved with. You've probably heard of Small Town Monsters
Yeah.
with Seth Breedlove. We were. Um, I was on the series. It's called Sasquatch Unearthed.
Hmm.
And there was the Ridge, which was up in Pennsylvania, and then the one down here that Terry and I did was called Mountain State Monsters. And our research is in that. You get a chance to check that out. We do go to we're hiking one of the trails that allegedly a creature was seen and there was a print there. So it's a lot, and we are talking to people. We try to have events, talk to people. I post on boards down here, and we're starting to learn more and more about what's going on down here. And it is a very slow process because a lot of people here are tight-lipped.
Right.
West Virginians don't like to talk a lot to people they don't know.
I can understand
Yeah, so
that.
it's a that and the difficulty of the terrain down here. It makes this a real challenging state to research. It
Hmm.
really does.
Well, you would think that with where you live and with it being a bad terrain down there, that would be the ultimate place for Bigfoot or any type of cryptid to hang out at.
Yeah. Well, like if remember, we're just into the tip of West Virginia. The further you go, like the more mountainous it gets, and yeah. So it's, and again, if people aren't talking to you about these sightings, there could be like a multitude of sightings that we don't know about. And
Right.
it's the more events we do down here, and we have the one coming up, like I had talked to you on May 4th down at Brook Hills Park, and it's going to be a paranormal conference. So we
Hmm.
have that coming up, and the reason we do these is to have people come to us. We get our name out there; they come to us with sightings, and so it's always going to be a work in progress down here. It's nothing that's going to be. We're going to get 50 reports,
Right.
in 2 months. I mean, it's just not going. You might get two or three here, and then later on down the road, somebody else comes to you. So it's tough. I'm not going
No,
to lie to you. It's challenging.
I have been there, brother. In 2006, when I formed the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society, it was tough. It really, really was. And I totally understand where you're coming from. But at the beginning with my group, if I got something cool, I would tell everybody about it, and I got laughed at. You know what I mean? Or degraded, and people just didn't want to hear it. I kept hearing the damn Ghostbusters. They used to play that damn song, or what I mean, or sing that song. Um, so Virginia has a question for you.
Sure.
She asks, "How do you prepare for such an investigation, Brian?"
Well, we again, like I said beforehand, we try to get. If we don't get a report, then we will go to an area that we have researched, through the internet and through a lot of our old files and things like that. So we'll go out, we'll take equipment, we'll have plaster with us, we'll hike an area uh, when we feel it's warranted and when we have time. Which as we get older, we have less time. We like to do night investigations too. Now we've only done the last night investigation we did was down at Beaver Creek, which was I believe it was last July.
Okay.
So and then we were there 3 or 4 hours a night, which we probably could have stayed later, but we did hear a knocking. We heard something knock on a tree. Again, um, we don't, we there's a lot. We're really cautious about what we think may or may not be a Bigfoot.
Right.
There's a lot of groups out there. They'll take pictures of, X's. They'll take trees bent over, or so we always say, "Did you see a Bigfoot do that?" And they say, "No, this is allegedly what they do." Um, could they? Yes, but we document that. We'll take pictures and document it and try to follow it up with, hey, there was prints, there was noises, there was animal kills, and then if you add a lot together, then it could be. But people do that. Animals can do that. They can make some bows. The most interesting ones are the twists.
Okay.
Sometimes you see a branch that's twisted. Now weather phenomenon could do that, and I've heard actually bears could, if it's not as way high up, I guess they could do it with. But um, we we don't like to say, hey, we think there's a Bigfoot in an area because there's an X there or something. I mean, that we just don't do that.
Right.
So, and then we any evidence we get, we try to review, or we show some of our people we work with and say, hey, what do you think? What do you think about this? And that's basically the key. And also, what we also do is there's a lot of research in this too. You go online, you look for, say, Hancock County historical sightings. You talk to maybe which we started to do, some of the local folklorists down here or whatever. Hey, what have you heard? Or historians, and then you can find out some things about that. And so you can learn a lot if you talk to a lot of people. More people are coming forward with what they're saying they've seen. So again, it's exciting. It is an exciting time, Donnie. We believe it.
Oh, I bet, no doubt. Now, I remember when I started in 2006, um, the Ghost Hunter show, Taps, okay,
Yes.
which, you know, I I would say is like the best thing that ever happened because I think I they started in 2004, 2005, something like that. And but what it did was it got people to come out of their shell and start
Yeah.
talking. Hey, listen, I seen a ghost. To
We
where,
Exactly the same thing
yes,
with us with Finding Bigfoot was the big one for us. They had Monster Quest, which to me, Monster Quest was the gold standard of any of
right,
these shows. Just, I mean, that was my favorite show. It was like it ran 3 years, and they did do more, like tried to do more scientific investigations than like Finding Bigfoot. The thing that Finding Bigfoot did with their town hall concept, it
right,
did bring the people out. And I remember, like after it came out, we were given library presentations, right? Like when they started, to
hmm,
come out, and people would come out and then they would start to talk. And yeah, it was it bad in one way that everybody wants to be on TV now looking for Bigfoot
right,
because of Finding Bigfoot. But initially, when they did all the town halls and things like that, it brought Bigfoot to a more uh, you know, acceptable thing in our studies. So in
right.
that way it helped, and the other way it hurt that they think now just go out in the woods, beat on a tree, and howl, and Bigfoot's there. I don't think that there's as many. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's as many of them. I do believe if they are indeed flesh and blood and they're out there, there's still a small population that they move around, uh,
Hmm.
and you're not going to see one or bang on a tree, and you're just not going to do it. If some groups are telling you that, and they're going to all different locations, you might want to question that.
Yeah, I kind of like did it, but listen, my friend, I got to go to a minute and a half break.
Okay,
And when we come back, I like to share a story with you, and then we
sure,
can continue our conversation. All right, my friend?
that's awesome.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Amanda, for coming in. Virginia, Patrick, my mom, Cindy, good to see you guys. So, this is the minute and a half where you can get up, go to the bathroom, or you need to get something to drink or something. And we'll be right back. Let me get to where I need to be. Here we go.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Looking for something new in dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, alternative history? They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. Get the 10-volume box set with 159 stories and full-color illustrations plus 34 articles with writings and art tips. Get the UPR on discount, $125 for the entire box set. That's a $60 savings for that beautiful box set. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Go to uprntalkradio.com, click on the link, and place your order.
Welcome back to Into the Night with Sean Kelly with my special guest, Brian Seech, a zoo cryptologist. I'll get it. I don't know. I'm from Pittsburgh. You know our accents are pretty bad up here, so I try to do the best that I can. Again,
Yeah.
I want to thank Carnation for sponsoring the show. I am on UPR and Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. Yeah, so Brian, I'd like to share a story with you.
Sure.
So I have a friend down in West Virginia. She's right below Uniontown. Okay, and she lives by a lake. She lives right on a lake where you have to go up a freaking mountain just to get to this lake, right? And so one morning when I went down there visiting, me and her husband were having a cup of coffee on their back porch. Now, no one's up there. Okay, it wasn't summertime. Do you know what I mean? Nobody was living there. It was just them. And so all of a sudden, him and I heard this real loud knock on a tree up there. I mean, it was like surreal. It was surreal. It was just like, wow, there was this like really big knock, and nobody was up there. No one was working. And I'm saying to myself, I got to come back up here and do some Bigfoot hunting.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't have a freaking clue what to do. You know what I mean? So I wanted to share that story. To me, that's as close as I'm going to get of actually experiencing something that could have been Bigfoot. Have you ever thought, have you ever thought like, okay, what would happen? What would I do if I actually saw Bigfoot?
Yeah. It's something. See, it goes through my mind all the time. It's like, what would I do if I actually saw what I do believe is real and we've been searching for years? You know, would I have a big smile on my face, or would I just just sit there and watch? It's something that I do think about a lot, and I don't think I really don't think I would be afraid, because we've heard some noises in the woods and I actually went out towards them. So knowing myself, I mean, I don't think I would. Uh, I would be scared. I think I would have to know. I'd want to know, unless it's charging me or something, and I throwing rocks at me. Um,
Right?
I want to know, Sean, before we retire from this field, which that time is getting closer for me too, and us,
Yeah.
and my wife. I just want to see something, Sean. I want to see. I want to prove to that little kid in the '70s watching all these shows that, hey, you didn't waste all your time. You went after a phenomenon that is real, and I just hope I get to experience that. I know other people who aren't interested in it, they see it, and it's like you get jealous. It's like, you're not even interested. I've been out there looking in three
Yes.
states for since like 2000. Doing actual, like, being out in the field,
Right.
and uh, that's like 24 years, and we've had a couple weird instances, things that happen, and we did have one rock thrown at us down at Beaver Creek. We've had more interesting stuff happen in Beaver Creek than anywhere we've ever researched, and
Okay.
that's just in Columbiana County, Ohio. And that's my favorite place to go researching. It really is. So now we're going to try to shift that to still go down there, but try to hit Tomlinson Run more too.
Well, I hope so. I hope so, that you could go to the both places and that you can start, a new place.
Mhm.
But okay, so what I want to get back to is, okay, so I make a call and I say, Brian, I saw Bigfoot. Okay, so you come out. So what do you look for when you determine, like, do you look for footprints? Do you look for hair? What when you survey the scene or you investigate the scene, what do you look for?
Well, we're looking. Let's say you call me and your house is right by the woods, and you said, hey, it's standing right over there. So we go over there. We look for, obviously, first thing, obviously, footprints. Any signs that something big went through there. You look up high. Maybe there's tree limbs broken or twisted. Maybe there's a smell still there. Maybe there's an animal kill. Something that tells you that, hey, there was something there. Especially if you would say, okay, Brian, that creature was standing right underneath that limb. and we
Mm-hmm.
measure the limb, which will give us, how big we believed it is, and go walking through the woods, try to find a trail, try to find, maybe scat or maybe hair, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe somehow this creature's walking through and it leaves a chunk of hair or something. That's what you look for. You want to look for physical evidence that something was there. That's the main thing.
Okay.
And then we also would get that report off of you. We have a very large reporting form that was developed by Dr. Paul Johnson. I think it's about 47 questions. It's really detailed.
Oh, wow.
And then we have them fill that out. If you did actually see it, we do always push for drawings. We don't have a huge number of drawings, but the ones that we do, they're pretty impressive actually, because most people don't want to draw, but when they actually draw, they're very good at remembering what they
Was there ever a time that you guys put somebody under hypnosis?
We've never done that yet. We've never done that in the UFO field. I know Fred knows people that could do that if they were abducted,
Mm-hmm.
and that's more on his end, something that we don't do. We do research UFO reports too. Me and my wife were both in MUFON for years. Now we've both been gone for probably about 10 years. She was the state section director for about 2, and so we've done our share of UFO investigations also.
Okay. Well, all I know is that for me, when it comes to UFOs, and I guess it's going to actually be if I ever saw a Bigfoot or another cryptid, for me and the aliens and UFOs, one has to land in my backyard. Okay. So I can actually physically see it. And if an alien came out, I would want to shake its hand. That's, not run. I just want to shake their hand and say, hey, they're real. Now, with me being in the paranormal, yes, I've experienced spirit. I have seen spirit, Spirit would actually push me, punch me, whatever. But I experienced that. So even though doing radio for almost 5 years now, um, to me, I do believe there's a Bigfoot. I do believe that there are aliens. I do believe there are UFOs. But to really take me over the top would be to actually see one of those. That's what and that's just for me. And he goes hunting down there.
We're trying to learn about some places. We haven't done any yet. We're still trying to learn. We hope to do something. We had a couple of our friends move down here too. We do want to do some paranormal. Again, we have to find out the exact places to go yet, but
Right.
hopefully that playhouse will be one of them. So,
what I would find interesting, especially where you live, have you ever tried, or have you ever seen maybe the forest people, the little, the fairies, the gnomes,
well,
anything?
This is a subject that my wife and our friend Leah really, really are interested in. I have not seen it. My wife has seen. She said she saw something that looked like a fairy at Beaver Creek walking Creston's Lock.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Leah has had some encounters with the little people, the Fae
Yeah.
realm, and that's something that does interest us. Believe me. We did go on one investigation outside of Raccoon Creek State Park in Beaver County about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The guy claims he saw something, and we went there with instruments and things. We didn't come up with anything, but it's a neat little area. It's almost like what they call a fairy ring there.
Right.
We looked for measurements like with the EMF and things like what you would do.
Right.
When you do paranormal, or we've done. Not a ton of. We've done enough paranormal investigations ourselves. I mean,
right.
We were at Hillview with Patty Wilson before they opened it up to the general public for ghost hunting, and
Mm-hmm.
we were at the Fort Pick Blockhouse, and we were at
that's on my bucket list. Whenever, hey, Kaysen, good to see you. But talking about the Blockhouse in Point State Park,
mm-hmm.
Do you know how hard it was for me to even attempt to go into that place? I mean, they are like stingy.
Yeah, we we actually he was a former member, knew he was in with all the people with the historical societies and things like that, and he happened to know somebody, and they got us in one night, and we didn't catch anything. Don't get me wrong, but that was one we were able to spend a couple hours in and around it and outside and things like that. But we were inside it, so it was pretty cool.
That and out there in Penn Trafford, that Battle Bushy Run.
Bushy Run, I've heard a lot about that. Not
Oh
just
my
ghost
God,
activity,
dude!
but Bigfoot activity. Yeah.
Yes, and ghostly activities and stuff like that. But I will tell you this, when I first started back, when I formed the group in 2006, 2008, the aviary called me up because they were having paranormal activity down there.
Yeah, we got to go in there too.
So I found out and did some research on that. That used to be the old Allegheny County Jail.
Okay.
Back in the Civil War, 1864, 65, it became a prisoner of war camp.
Okay.
Prison down there. And because a lot of people were saying that they saw an apparition of a soldier.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. And that's a creepy joint down there. That's a creepy place.
Yeah, we were lucky. We got to go in there. We were with another ghost group from Beaver County, and we were able to go in there with Rosemary Ellen Guiley, which I know you've heard of her.
Yep.
Unfortunately, she passed years ago, and Patty Wilson. So we got to do an investigation with both of them in the aviary. And I do remember, I think that Rosemary did get some on her EVPs later. She did pick up some voices and things like that. We didn't, but she did.
Right. Now, when you go on your excursion, do you take a lot of EVP? Do you like, how you do it on a paranormal investigating?
Yeah.
You ask a question. How do you communicate with Bigfoot doing an EVP session?
Well, we try to have our recorders on in case you hear a scream or something like that, or if we initiate a howl or a knock, we're looking for a response. Now, we've never really had that happen. We did have it one time happen again down Beaver Creek. One time, one knock, and that was down by the Pioneer Village in the back.
What is so? I want to say magical about that park you were talking about?
It's a paranormal hotspot. There's the ghost of Gretchen down there by Gretchen's Lock. There's been UFO sightings over there and Bigfoot sightings. So it all congregates in that one. There's like two different areas there. That a lot of that Lady in White. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things down there. I mean, it's and anybody around the tri-state area, they probably know about it. I've gone there.
Okay, so it's not just like in the summertime or springtime. You can go down any time of the year and probably pick up something, right?
Oh, I would believe so. Yeah, we've been down in the winter. We actually went down there, Terry and I, checking out another gentleman years ago, claimed that there was a Bigfoot. It was in the winter, and going down towards Gretchen's Lock, there's like a little island there, and somebody saw a Bigfoot on that island, and it was like about a couple weeks before we went down there, and it was still even ice on the creek and everything. But unfortunately, we didn't find anything. So, but yeah, we've been down in the winter, summer, spring. We've been down there every season.
I think I'm going to take a little trip down there this year. You know, should. I am. Maybe have you tag along or something like that.
We'd go down.
I'm not really big into conferences, if you know what I mean. And I'll tell you why. I've been to many paranormal conferences. I spoke at many paranormal conferences. And there's so many damn egos out there. Right? So many egos. And people try to put you down, or they're like beating their chest saying, look at this evidence that I got. And what you got isn't true. This is how we do. We do our investigations like a regimental, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I mean, like you said it when you were so interested in the 70s, right? And how by reading the magazines and stuff like that. Um, just like me, I just wanted to go ghost hunting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no egos. I wanted to help everybody. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they just had these egos. So that does pertain into some Bigfoot people down there in groups.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know what? Especially, we don't find that as much down here in West Virginia now. In Pennsylvania, yeah, yeah. But unfortunately, and see, my thing is and I do believe, like, when almost everybody, and I'm giving everybody credit too, when they first get into this field, I think their intentions are pure. I think they want to research the phenomena. They do. They want to find out what's going on. Is there a Bigfoot? Over time, it kind of, then it gets into the egos. It gets into making money, you know, things like that. So that's why we kind of keep a smaller circle. That, because
That's
there's a lot of one group will break off into another group, and then they attack this
yeah.
group, and it's like, and
Why?
there's people we don't deal with, and we got drawn into it too. We just try to stay away from it. I'm not saying we're, um, you know, we haven't fought with people too, and we still do, and there's several that we do, but we try to stay away from it because
Right.
they can do their own thing and be successful, and we can do our own thing. The people that we hang with, they don't really have egos. They just want to find out the truth. And as you know, Sean, not everyone's going to like you in this field.
Oh God, no, no.
You can have you can have, like, say, 80 people, and out of those 80, there's going to be 20 that just don't like you regardless, because and
Yes.
you just
And
got
I'm
to
okay with that.
Yeah, stay away from them, and you'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But so we're kind of like on the same page with when it comes down to other people. And for me, you can't have an ego in our fields. You cannot have an ego,
Yeah,
right?
and yeah, because you know what we always say, Fred and I say, whenever we give presentations, whether it's a library or conference, we tell people, we say, they're not here to see us. They're not here to see me and Fred Saluga.
Right.
They want to know what that we know about a phenomenon, whatever we're talking about at that time.
Right.
And like we always tease that, like, me and Fred can go up with Bozo the Clown mask on, and and they just want to hear what we say. They want to see what we're presenting, or see what's on our table, or talk with us. We're just like that. How do you say it? A messenger or a conduit. We're, you know, I like what Virginia just said. You're always a villain in someone's story, and I'm a villain in some people's stories. I
Well,
mean,
me too,
I'm not
bud.
going to lie to you. So are you, I'm sure.
Oh, I am. I sure am. I sure am. And I used to let it bother me a lot,
Yeah,
but
me
you know
too.
what? Not no more. Not no more. I just like, if that's how you feel about me, fine. You know what I mean? You do your thing, I'll do my thing. You know what
Yep.
I mean? But oh my God, there's a nice place out here, and I don't know if you ever heard of it, Blue Miss Road out here in
Oh
the
yeah,
Old
we were there
Park.
one time. One time, yeah, yeah,
Dude, you got to go back out there, my
yeah.
man.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Seriously,
You ever go to
because
Dead Man's Hollow?
yes, I have.
Okay,
I've been to
we
Dead
haven't even
Man's
been there
Hall.
yet. We're maybe try to go there this year.
We used to go down on the Allegheny Bike Trail.
Okay.
It starts off in Boston and it
Yeah.
goes down. That's a creepy freaking
Now,
place. And
you know what I've heard? I've heard someone even talking about a possible Bigfoot sighting down on that trail.
you know what, dude? It's very, very possible because it's woody as hell. And I know there's a lot of spirits from a lot of the
Okay.
miners that were down in that area. Um, and there's a cemetery down there. It was pretty crazy because every time we would do an EVP session, right, we'd come up with a question, waiting for an answer, and the damn train would go by. So it would be just like, but yeah. So all those places down there, it would be a great place for Bigfoot. You know what I mean? And it's funny, when I would go investigate these places, I didn't even think about it. But I tell you what, dude, I've heard some weird ass noises down in that area,
Yeah.
especially up on Blue Miss Road.
Okay.
I mean, if it's just a little thing I would like to tell you, because when you go past, where the intersection's at,
Yeah. Yeah.
You go past and start walking down, dude. It's creepy as sin. Oh, and there's one more. It's the Montauk Trail, bike trail. I don't
Okay, I
know.
know where that is. I've never been on there.
Okay, the Hendersonville. We go to the Hendersonville off of 79.
Okay.
And we park there, and boom, and there's a lot of bobcats, and not mountain lions or nothing like that, but
Mhm.
bobcats and stuff like that. But you know what? That's a pretty creepy place down there. Hopefully, we can get you up here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Amanda Ray says you all so lucky to go on these adventures. Why I love getting to listen to y'all stories. We'll take you out on one, Amanda. That's not a problem. I mean, if you want to go, when it gets warmer, because I sure as hell ain't going out in the freaking cold.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna do it. So we're getting pretty close to the end of here, brother. We've got about 5 more minutes with you. But
Okay.
if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, probably I would say maybe the quickest way just is go to my Facebook page, Brian Seech, and message me. But we also have the two groups, both on Facebook, the Center for Cryptozoological Studies and Center for Unexplained Events. They're both on Facebook. Shoot me a message there. That would probably be the easiest way to get. The easiest way would just be try to send me a message. Uh, you know, Brian Seech on Facebook.
Okay, I just put that all in the comments. Brian, honestly, thank you so much for being on tonight.
Oh, I had a great time, Sean.
I had
Anytime,
a
man.
great time too. Maybe we can do this later on in the future. But
Sure.
I'm definitely going to get a hold of you because I really seriously do want to go on a Bigfoot
Okay.
expedition, and with you and Fred if he goes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He did say to say hi, by the way. So
All right, tell Fred I said hello
okay.
too, man. Hey, listen, have a good night. Thank you
You too.
again. It was a good show, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks, man.
All right, bye bye.
Okay, bye.
That was an awesome show. God, Brian's a good dude, man. He's a good friend, and I'm really looking forward to. Good night, Virginia. Amanda, I'm glad you could make it. Um, it was a great show, and I'm kind of glad we had a little bit of technical. Thank you very much, Virginia. And your show was pretty good too on Into the Veil. I mean that was a very good show that you had on because I watched it. But just want to thank everybody for joining in this Sunday. So Tuesday, the 23rd, I am going to have the Michael Anthony on the show, and we're going to talk into some more stuff. I mean, it's going to be an interesting show. Every time I have Mike on, it's a great show, you know. And so you can guys, um, so you guys can please come in on Tuesday night. Remember 8:10. Children, if you can, please, please, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children. Go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have no parents, if you have no children, find somebody and give them a hug. Okay? Because those 3 words, I love you, go. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate it. Those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, good night, everybody, and see you Tuesday.